Hello everyone. In this video we're going to cover Mesmer leveling. Basically the weapons you're going to use for Mesmer are your greatsword and your staff. The greatsword is going to be your primary damage dealer, and it's also used to keep you safe in events when there's lots of mobs, or if you need to stay farther away from a boss mob so he doesn't crush you. You're usually only going to switch to your staff during difficult encounters, or when your greatsword skills are on cooldown and you need to produce clones or illusions. That's basically all there is to the weapons for the Mesmer. Moving on to the utilities, what we're going to be using for our healing is Ether Feast. This is going to most likely be your largest heal so long as you have all three of your clones / illusions up. But you can also use Mirror as well, due to the fact that it also reflects projectiles and it has a slightly shorter cooldown than the Ether Feast. Looking at the base utilities that we're going to be using, we have Decoy, Phantasmal Defender, and Signet of Illusions. Basically, Decoy, what that does is when you use it, you'll gain Stealth, and it summons an illusion to attack your foe, which will shuck aggro from you. It also breaks Stun if an enemy has stunned you. Phantasmal Defender summons an illusion that redirects half of the damage you would have taken to itself instead. Doesn't last very long, but sometimes that is the difference between you living and dying. And then finally, Signet of Illusions grants more health to your illusions, so your Phantasmal Defender and your Decoy and things like that will last longer. You can also use the active on this Signet to recharge your Shatter skills, which are Mind Rack, which does damage, Cry of Frustration, which confuses enemies, Diversion, which is going to destroy, all of these destroy all your clones and phantasms, and then dazes the target. And finally, Distortion, which causes you to evade all attacks. Your final elite utility we're going to be using is Time Warp. This is great for multiple people. If you're working in an event with other players and things like that, make sure they all gather around when you use it, because it'll apply quickness to everyone. In the case of playing by yourself, it's also very powerful, because a lot of times that extra quickness will really make a big difference for you. Next, we're going to cover the traits for the Mesmer. The first set of points you're going to want to put into is in the Chaos tree. The reason for that is that it's going to give you the survivability you need as a Clothy to be able to easily level. The first thing we're going to put points in is Illusionary Defense. You take 3% reduced damage for each illusion you have in the world, so that's basically a max of 9%. Then Debilitating Dissipation. Your clones apply a random condition to nearby foes when they're killed. And then finally, Chaotic Dampening. You gain 50 toughness while wielding a staff, and it reduces the recharge rate of staff skills by 20%. The next set of traits we're going to want to put points in is Domination. The first one we're going to put points, or the first trait skill we're going to choose is Mental Torment. Mind Rack causes 20% more damage. That's your first skill here, where you blow up your illusions. The next one we're going to use is Greatsword Training. You gain an additional 50 power while wielding a greatsword, and it also reduces the recharge of greatsword skills by 20%. And finally, Confounding Suggestions. 50% chance to cause a 1-second stun whenever you daze a target. Very, very useful skill. The last set of traits we're going to put in is Illusions. That gives you some condition damage and also increases the shredding recharge rate by 10%. And then the point we're going to put in there is Precise Rack, which is a 10% higher critical hit chance with Mind Rack. So as you can see, it focuses on staves and greatswords, the utility of your illusions, and then also doing more damage with greatswords and your illusions. And that's basically all there is to it. Follow this guide and you'll be level 80 in no time.